So how's everybody doing this morning? Good? Good, good. I missed you all. It's good to be back. My trip was great. Yes, it was great. It was 80 degrees in Utah last week, so it was fabulous. Fabulous. Yeah, that's okay. I don't mind being sweaty. I'll take sweaty over cold any day of the week. Yeah, I'm a sweaty girl. All right. So let's start this morning with a little bit of breathing. So if you want to come right up to the front of your chair, have your feet on the floor right underneath your knees. Sit up nice and tall. Close your eyes. Let's take a couple of breaths in and out. Just kind of get yourself to settle. And just kind of notice your breath. Is it fast or slow? Is it deep or shallow? And see if you can relax your hands and your shoulders and your jaw. And this morning's class, we're going to focus on the neck and shoulders, which is a kind of a challenging area for a lot of people. A lot of us have tension there, discomfort, pain. So as we're just inhaling and exhaling, I want you to pay special attention to how your shoulders rise and fall with the breath, if they rise and fall with the breath. Pay attention to how your neck and your spine feel as you breathe in and out. Can you feel a little bit of movement in your neck and your spine? And let your breath get nice and deep. See if that makes a difference in what you feel in your neck and your spine. Take one more nice deep breath in, let it out with a sigh. You can let your eyes open. And we'll just start some movement with a simple yes for the head. So lifting your chin up and bringing it down. Now as you lift your chin up, you can lift it up just as high as it feels comfortable. So you don't want to feel any pinching or discomfort in the back of your neck when you lift your chin up. And as you bring your chin down, what I'd like you to do is see if you can bring your chin back toward the little notch in your collarbones. So you do an extra little tuck of your chin as you bring it down. So there's a slight elongation of that down position. And then we're just coming up gently and back down gently. Good, just 2 more times. Good, and then coming back to center, we're just going to do a no movement. So turning the head from side to side like you're saying no. And as you turn in one direction, pause for a moment, see if you can turn a little bit farther before moving to the other side. So each time you get to either the right or the left, you're taking a little bit longer there, just giving a little bit extra. And then coming back into that center position. Take your hands from your lap and you're going to bring your hands down like you're pushing down into the floor. So where your hands are extended, your fingers are extended. And then you're going to take your right ear to your right shoulder and push down through the left palm of your hand. And then go to the left with your ear and push down through the right palm of your hand. So we're just going back and forth, and each time you go to one shoulder, you're pushing down toward the floor with the palm of the other hand. So we're getting a stretch through the side of the neck, and for a lot of us, this is where we hold some tension here, is in these big muscles on the top of the shoulders, right up into the neck. A couple more, going one side to the other. Great. And then coming back to neutral, you can bring your hands to your lap. So we're going to bring the chin back down toward the collarbones. And again, thinking about the notch between your collarbones, see if you can get your chin almost nestled right in that area. So as you're holding here and you're breathing, feeling the stretch in the back of the neck, into the upper back, maybe into the shoulders a little bit. As you keep your chin tucked in toward your collarbones like this, bring your right ear a little closer to your right shoulder, so you should really feel that stretch on the left. And then come back to center. So again, the chin is really tucked into the collarbones. As you hold it there, bring your left ear toward your left shoulder. And feeling a pretty good stretch on that right side. And we're just going to go back and forth, nice and slow. So go to the right. Come back through center. Go to the left. And hold it there for a moment. So don't go really fast from side to side. We're just kind of holding maybe for a breath. And then going to the other side. So keeping the chin tucked into the collarbones as you bring the ear to one side and then the other. And the next time you're back to center, hold here. See if you can pull that chin in a little bit closer to the notch in the collarbones. And then come all the way up with the head. Good. Now we're going to look down to the right like you're looking at something on the floor, and then look up and to the left. So it's a diagonal movement with the head down and to the right, and then slowly up and to the left. And breathing in and breathing out. If this makes you feel a little dizzy or a little wobbly, you can go slower, or you can just do a no movement with your head. And the next time that you come back through center, you're going to bring your head up and then look down to the left and up and to the right. So same thing, just kind of going nice and slow. It's just a movement for the head. So we're getting this diagonal movement. Your top two vertebrae, so your spine is made up of independent bones called vertebrae, and the top two vertebrae in your spine, right up into the top of your cervical spine, they have a unique feature that none of the other vertebrae do. That's what allows us to have all this range of movement in our head. We can do this kind of diagonal movement, a wobbly movement. One more time, down and up. And then come back to that center position. Let's roll the shoulders forward, up and around a couple of times. So just noticing what the shoulders feel like. As you bring your shoulders up to your ears, bring your ears to your shoulders. And then reverse that direction. So if you were kind of circling backwards, circle forwards. If you were circling forwards, circle backwards. Great. All right. And then relax that. We're going to take the right arm and we're just going to make some nice big slow circles with that arm. So we're working on the shoulder here, going up and around like you're drawing circles with your elbow. So we're just circling up and around. And then at some point, reverse the direction of those circles. And breathe in, breathe out. Great. And then let's see if we can make a figure 8 instead of a circle. And make it a nice big figure 8. And then reverse your 8. That might feel a little strange to reverse the 8. Good. And then relax that. Let's go right to the other side to some circles. So elbow up and around. Now if you're working with an issue with your shoulder and you don't have that full range, you're just going to go to a place that gives you a bit of a challenge but doesn't hurt. Right? So we don't want pain here. And then at some point reverse direction, go in the other way. Good. And how about an 8 on this side? Great. And a reverse 8. Excellent. How about one more nice big 8? And relax that down. Good. So bend your elbows and have your hands up like you're holding 2 trays. And all we're going to do is we're going to bring the arms forward and round through the shoulders, and then bring the arms back and squeeze the shoulder blades together, right? So from the side it looks like this. So we're rounding as we come forward, and then we're squeezing. So there's some movement in the upper part of the back. Now you'll notice I'm not moving my head very much. I'm just kind of keeping my head stationary here because I don't want this to be all about the neck. When we lose mobility in the upper back, we often will try and make up for it with movement in the neck. And we got plenty of that usually. Okay. So just a couple more of these forward and back. And again, you're doing the best you can, especially if you have some limited mobility in the shoulders. And then let's bring the elbows right into the waist. So it's like right here under the ribs. And we're just going to bring the arms out and back. Right? So we're pinning the elbows to the waist a little bit here. Now some people have a lot of outward rotation. Some of us don't have so much outward rotation. It doesn't really matter. We're just kind of working that shoulder a little bit here. Great. Couple more. And the next time that your arms are out to the sides, we're going to hold here, and we're just going to serve out and back. And I'm sorry I didn't ask you to check your distance here. So if you're near somebody, just make sure they don't mind holding hands with you momentarily. And if they do, then you can kind of negotiate somebody moving forward and somebody moving back. So we're just going out and in, right? Nice and easy. Couple more. And you're holding whatever you got on your tray there from crashing to the floor. Great. The next time your arms are in, we're going to hold here. You can kind of bring them back to the center. So we're going to make this a little bit more interesting. So we're going to keep the right hand forward and going to take the left arm out to the side. So you get the elbows bent into the body, right? Left arm is out to the left, right arm is forward. We're going to extend, bend, and switch. Extend, bend, and switch. Good. Excellent. You guys are doing great. Don't tell the 8:30 class, but they didn't do as well. Uh-oh. I think they were sleeping still. That's why. The chill. Yes, you want to make sure when you switch, your elbows are in, right? So you don't switch with your arms extended. You switch with your elbows in, and then you extend. Right? Good. How about 2 more? I think last one, right? Last one for me anyway. All right, and then kind of shake everything out a little bit here. Great job. Okay, let's take the arms up like a cactus, right? So with your arms like a cactus, I want you to drop your shoulder tops down, right? Because sometimes we do this and we're like this, we get the shoulder tops way up. So we're just kind of dropping the shoulder tops down. So it doesn't matter if your upper arms are parallel to the floor or if they're down a little bit. Again, you're working with whatever you've got going on for your shoulders. I just want you to be consistent in the height of your arm. In other words, I don't want you to be moving your upper arms up and down like this. We're going to keep them in the same plane as we bring the arms forward and back, right? That's it. That's the whole movement. So wherever you're comfortable with the upper arms being, you're going to hold those upper arms in that plane as we move. Now, as you come forward, see if you can get your elbows and your hands together or as close together as they can be. And when you do, if you can get them together, push. So you're squeezing here. Even if they're not together, give a little squeeze. And then when you come back, squeeze your shoulder blades together. And when you come forward, squeeze the chest a little bit so you're getting the arms together. So it's all about the chest and the upper back between the shoulder blades. So slow that down. I see people flying through this. So we're going to come forward and squeeze. So we're squeezing the chest muscles. Come back and squeeze the shoulder blades, the muscles between the shoulder blades. Good. Great. Just a couple more. So we're really working some of those chest muscles and shoulder muscles. That has a lot to do with our neck tension as well. Good. Great. We're going to finish with the hands together in the front. Okay. So from here, see if you can bring your arms down. Don't let your elbows come apart, or if they are apart, don't let them come wider apart. So you're going to bring your arms down as far as you can, and then as far up as you can, keeping the arms as close together as they can be. Now, some people are not going to have their elbows together, so I'll demonstrate that. So this is what that would look like, right? So I have a space between my elbows, but it's consistent as I reach up and as I reach down. In other words, it's not getting wider as I come down, right? It's a consistent space. Great, just a couple more. Excellent. All right, and then let that go, and you can kind of shake out your arms a little bit here. All right. So we're going to be in that cactus position again with the arms like this. And we're going to be doing some rotation from the shoulder, right? So that rotation looks like this. And as I do this, I'm keeping the upper arm at the same height. In other words, I'm not raising and lowering the arm. I'm just pivoting here at the shoulder as I go up and down. All right? Up and down. So we're doing both arms, right? So up, and I'm rotating here at the shoulder and coming down. Now, as I come down, I'm going to try and pull my shoulders up toward my ears a little bit, right? So I'm getting a little extra here. Don't let your chin come forward, though. Keep your chin level. And then when I come back, I'm going to squeeze those shoulder blades together as if I could get the arms past parallel, right? So there's a little bit of an arch in the back. So as I come forward and up, I'm feeling the top of the shoulders, but I'm also feeling the upper back, the chest a little bit. Relax your jaw. Okay. Next time your arms are up, I'm going to ask you to hold here because everybody looks like they're doing great, having a great time. So we're going to keep the right arm up and we're going to bring the left arm down. And then we're going to switch. So as you do, you want to go super slow because as I bring the arm down on the left, that left shoulder comes up. And as the arm is up on the right, I'm squeezing that right shoulder blade together. So don't think so much about the arms as you do about the shoulders. It changes the game, doesn't it? Yeah. So nice and slow. I'm trying to get the shoulders involved. And the next time you have your right arm down You're going to hold here. Yes, we're still doing this. Turn and look out over your right shoulder and hold and breathe. And then switch sides, turn and look out over your left shoulder. So your left arm is down and you're looking out over your left shoulder. Your right arm is up. Good. And then head comes back. Let's bring the arms up into that cactus position again. We're going to extend them out to the side. Bring them all the way up overhead. Take a nice deep breath in. As you exhale, let your arms float all the way down to your lap. Close your eyes. Take a couple of breaths in and out and notice what you feel. So notice if something feels different there, right? Hopefully you've got a different sensation. All right, let's roll those shoulders a couple of times here. We're not quite done with the shoulders and the neck. And then we're going to take the arms out to the sides with the hands a little lower than the shoulders. Right? So you don't want your arms way up here. You want to have your hands down a little bit lower than the shoulders. And all we're going to do is using the thumbs as the rudder, we're going to bring the thumbs down and behind. And then we're going to bring the thumbs forward and up. So that's rotating not just the hands, but it's rotating at the elbows. It's rotating at the shoulders, the wrists, right? Now you can make this more or less intense, whatever you choose. So if you want to make it more intense, as you roll the thumbs down and back, bring the shoulder tops up so you're kind of rounding that upper back. And then as you go the other way, squeeze the shoulder blades together. So that makes it more intense. If you're like not up for that, just do the rotation so you can feel it in the shoulder itself. Good. Just a couple more. Breathing in and breathing out. You can even turn your head from side to side if that feels good. All right. Great. How about one more rotation up and back? And then let your arms come all the way down. Let them rest on your lap. Close your eyes. Take a couple of breaths in and out. Noticing the arms and shoulders. Noticing a little bit maybe in the chest, in the upper back. All right. Take a nice deep breath in. Let it out with a sigh. Let your eyes open, and then let's stretch that out a little bit. So we just did some good work here to strengthen some things. So we're going to take the right arm over to the left and let the right arm relax as we pull that arm across the body. Turn your head and look out over your right shoulder. If you want, you can give a little nod there, like a yes movement with your head. That can feel nice. If it doesn't feel nice, just keep your head still then. That's okay. Breathe in, breathe out. And as you're breathing in and breathing out, make sure you can deepen your breath and feel that, because the arm is across the body. You're not going to feel it so much in your chest, but hopefully you feel it in the back of that right shoulder a little bit. Okay, and then bring your head back. You're going to release that arm. Take your left arm over to the right. So same thing. The left arm is kind of relaxed. The right arm is doing all the work here. Turn and look out over your left shoulder. And a little yes movement if that feels like it's okay for you. If it doesn't, you can keep your head still. And again, just taking some nice deep breaths. What I really want you to focus on is the sensation of breath in the upper part of your back or your shoulder blade or your shoulder area, because you're not going to feel it so much in your chest because your arm is right across the chest on that side. Breathing in and breathing out. And turn your head back to center. Release that arm. So we're going to bring the arms behind the back now. So can everybody get their hands back there and at least like hold your fingers? Okay. So if you can do that, if you can do even more, like maybe your wrists, that's okay too. So what we're going to do here, we're going to keep the hands in this position. Again, fingers is fine. Hands, wrists, whatever you can get hold of. And all we're going to do here is squeeze the shoulder blades together. Bring the elbows back and squeeze the shoulder blades together and then relax. So we're squeezing the shoulder blades together and then relaxing. And as you're squeezing your shoulder blades, notice, so this is something that I see happen. Two things that I notice happens is people will lift their shoulder tops up. I want you to keep the shoulder tops down. The other thing that I see people do is when they squeeze their shoulder blades together, their chin comes up. I want you to keep your chin down, right? So the chin isn't moving, it's just the shoulder blades. Okay, one more time, squeeze and release, and we're just going to hold there for a moment. Now you've got your hands equally holding each other. I want you to use your left hand to hold your right hand a little bit more and pull that right arm over to the left a little bit. Got that? Take a couple of breaths and then drop your left ear to your left shoulder. Now with your ear on your shoulder, I want you to look down at the floor between your knees. So again, for some people, when the ear is on the shoulder, this is what I see. I see the head way up here. Let's bring the head down. So you're looking between your knees at the floor and your ear is close to your shoulder. So we're trying to stretch a specific part of that shoulder and the upper back. And then inhale, come back to center. Now instead of the left hand pulling the right, you're going to use the right hand and pull the left over to the right. Okay? And again, you can be doing this with your hand or your wrist or whatever you got hold of. And then you're going to bring your right ear to your right shoulder and you're looking down at the floor between your knees. Breathe in, breathe out. Nice big stretch here. Bring your head back up. Let's switch sides one more time. So we're going to take the left hand, pull the right. Drop the left ear to the left shoulder. Look down between your knees. Breathe in, breathe out. Bring your head back up. We're going to switch sides. So take your right hand, pull your left over to the right, drop the right ear to the right shoulder. Looking down between your knees again. Inhale, bring your head back up, release your arms. Let's take the hands back down to the lap. Close your eyes for a moment. Just take a couple of breaths and notice. You can let your eyes open. All right, so let's do a little bit of movement at the wrists. We're going to do a little bit more movement at the hands because hand tension can translate into neck and shoulder tension. When we're doing things that that require our focus and attention, you know, something with our hands, crafting or knitting, crocheting, something on the computer, reverse direction here, that can translate up into neck and shoulder tension as well. All right. Bring your hands together, interlace your fingers, right? So we're interlacing the fingers. Let's just take the palms of the hands, press them out and round through your upper back. Oh, get a good stretch there. Push out through the right side a little bit more and then through the left side. Oh, this makes me want to yawn. Oh. Oh, and then come back. Unlace your fingers and interlace them the opposite way. So the way that's a little bit strange for you. And then again, press out. Oh. Press through one side and then the other. Maybe get a little bit of an adjustment there in the back. You feel a little pop or a little snap, that's okay. All right, and then come back, unlace, interlace the normal way. And we're going to do this a few times for the fingers, right? So you see what is your normal way, how that feels. which thumb is on the top, and then you're just going to unlace and interlace the opposite way, and unlace and interlace the normal way. So we're just going to go back and forth a few times, right? And see how quickly you can go without getting confused. Right? And this is nice to do, especially if you have fingers or knuckles that are a little cranky. This is a nice thing to do because you're using your own hands to create some space in the metacarpals, which are the bones here in your hands. Okay, just a couple more. Great. And then you can shake that all out. All right. So we've done some work for the neck and shoulders. We've done quite a bit of work for the neck and shoulders. So let's bring that a little bit more into the upper back and the chest as well. So with your feet a little wider apart, okay, we're going to have the hands on the thighs, like right above the knees, and we're going to be working the upper back. I'm going to turn sideways so you can see what I mean. So we're going to start by rounding through the upper back. It's like a Halloween cat with the back really raised up. And then we're going to arch the upper back, so squeezing the shoulder blades together and kind of arching the spine. So it's not just confined to your upper back, it actually goes down to your lower back as well. So we're rounding and then arching the back. Now for me, I find it easiest to breathe in when I'm arching my back, right? So my chest is forward. I feel like that's a breathe in sign. And then I find it easier to breathe out when I round through my back. You might not find that that is what works for you, and that's okay. Just as long as you're breathing in and breathing out in a way that feels like it's supporting your movement. So you can make this more or less intense, right? You can do a very simple little movement like this, or you can really round through the back. Try and bring your chin like to your navel, and then you can really come back and try and press your chest forward. So just find the spot that's a little bit of a challenge for you, right? So if it's super easy, you're not going to make any progress in terms of your flexibility in your spine. If it's really hard or painful, then that's also going to limit you. But if it's like a little uncomfortable, you know, it's kind of a challenge, that's where the growth happens. The growth happens on that edge, right? So just a couple more. Oh, thank you for sharing that, Ellen. Yawns are contagious. So if you have one, share it. Okay, and then come back to sort of that neutral position. So we just sort of opening up the chest, opening up the upper back. That can feel really nice too. So with your feet still nice and wide apart, we're going to bring that forward and backward movement into a little bit of a rotation. So you're going to take your right forearm, if you can, get your right forearm down on your right thigh. Your left hand is sort of hanging out here. It's like we're having a confidential conversation, right? Yeah, we're like having a confidential chat. So you're here. I'm going to turn sideways so you can see what I mean. If you can, take your left hand to your low back, like right on your sacrum, that bone there, right above your bum, at the bottom of your back. If your arm won't go back that far, that's okay. You can put your hand here on the hip crease, or you can put it right here on your hip bone, wherever is going to be, I hesitate to say comfortable, but I don't want it to be painful. It should be a little bit of a stretch for you. So wherever you've got your hand here, now what we're going to do is we're just going to twist to the left. Push into your right leg with your right arm, and then untwist and come back. Right? So that's the whole movement, you guys. So you're leaning your weight into your right arm, and you're twisting to the left, and then you're coming back down. Now, the reason I have your hand either on your hip or on your back is so you can open that shoulder. Push into the hand a little bit and open the shoulder, and then come back. For me, I find it's more comfortable to breathe in as I open my chest, and more comfortable to breathe out as I come forward. For you, that might be different, right? So just notice what feels right for you. Try and do it with the breath. That'll slow the movement down. And you can certainly turn your head as you're doing this, but don't make all of the rotation in your neck. In other words, don't hold yourself here and just be turning your neck most of the time. I want you to really be turning through your spine. So your neck has the mobility. It's your back that we want to get at. How about one more time, up and back? Now keep the weight in that arm, in that leg. So here we are back in this position. You can take your left hand to your left thigh, right? So we're still leaning in this right side. And then all you're going to do is shift your weight into that left side, push into your left hand, and push yourself up. Okay? So we've done that rotation on the right. Now we're going to do that rotation on the left. So you're going to take your left elbow, forearm, whatever you got, bring it down here. We're having a little confidential chat on this side now. So your right hand is on your leg. And again, we're going to find the spot that's a little bit of a challenge. Hip, back, hip crease, whatever feels like it's going to give you a bit of a challenge, but also allow you to open up. And as you inhale, open up to the right. And as you exhale, just kind of close down. If you're exhaling as you open up, that's okay too. So I'm not the breath police. So it's whatever is most effective for your body. Just take note. If you feel like when you come forward, if you're inhaling and you feel restricted in that inhale breath, try it the other way, because breath should always feel expansive. Even the exhale should feel expansive. It should never feel restrictive. Good, just a couple more. And how about one more? Now when you come back down, all your weight is still in that left arm. You're going to take your right hand to your right thigh, and you're simply going to shift your weight over to the right, push into your right hand, and come all the way up. Excellent job. Let's roll those shoulders a few times. Okay. All right. So taking a little rest here from the twisting of the spine, and that way we're going to do something called the clock face. If you think about your arms forward in this position at 12 o'clock, okay? So I'm going to have you bring both arms at 12 o'clock. As you do, notice if your shoulder tops are kind of holding your arms up. I just want you to drop your arms down a little bit, okay? So I don't want you to be like this. I want you to be completely relaxed with your arms extended. Your arms could even be down here. That's absolutely fine. I just want you to focus on keeping the length in your arms as best you can, right? So your palms are just kind of gently pressing into one another. And what we're going to do now is we're going to keep the left hand at 12 o'clock, and you're just going to bring the right arm out to 3 o'clock and then back. That's the movement. Right? So nice and slow. Can you keep your left hand at 12? Can you bring your right arm out to 3? Can you go nice and slow? Can you do that without elevating that shoulder, that right shoulder, right? So if you're hiking up your shoulder, see if you can drop the shoulder down. Bring it out. Okay, so that looks great. So now what I'm going to have you do, instead of going to 3, can you go to 3:30 or 4? And then back. So we're keeping that left arm at 12. If you can go to 3:30 or 4, go to 4:30 or 5. Right? So keep breathing. Go as far back as you can. So we're headed towards 6 o'clock, right? If we could get the arms at 6. Great. So the next time that you're out there, however far you are, stay there. So if you're at 5, or actually if you're at 4, go to 4:15. If you're at 5, see if you can go to 5:15. Right? Keep breathing. Notice, don't let the big hand move. Don't let the 12 o'clock hand move, so it's staying right where it is. Okay, so you're as far back as you can be, right? Yeah? I'll take that as a yes. Are you breathing or are you holding your breath? Okay. Yeah, I'm talking, yep. So keep your left hand forward at 12, And we're going to try and get to 6. And the best way to do that is to turn your body, but don't let that 12 o'clock hand move. See if you can get closer to 6 by turning your body. Got it? Okay, and then come back around. Go all the way back to 12. Relax all the way down. Right? Could everybody notice you got a little bit farther on the clock? Yeah, so we got a little bit of a twist in the body. Can we do that again? I think we can. Let's come out, right? So we're at 12 o'clock. Relax those shoulder tops. That's key, right? So in order to get the rotation we want, we've got to be able to relax parts of the body that would limit us in getting that rotation, and the shoulder tops are one of those places. So here we are at 12. And all I want you to do here, keeping this left hand at 12, I want you to go out as far as you can with the right hand. So you're just out there with the right hand. So just notice, okay, yep, I'm at 5 o'clock or I'm at 4:30 or whatever it is, right? So now we want to get to 6 o'clock or in that general vicinity, because 6 o'clock is cocktail hour, guys, right? So we got to get there. So you're keeping that left arm forward, and we're going to twist the body to see if we can get that right arm at 6. Maybe you can even get it 6:10 or 6:15. And then come all the way back. Ooh, and relax that all the way down. Yowza. Take a couple of breaths here and just notice. So notice that right side from the fingers all the way up the arm, into the chest, into the shoulders, right? Notice if there's a real change in the sensation there. And you note I didn't say it feels better, but it just feels different, right? Just feels different. All right, let your eyes open. Let's go back to 12 o'clock. We're going to keep the right arm at 12 now. So we're going to do like a night shift here. So we're going over to 9 o'clock with the left, and then back. So we're just getting the arm and the shoulder used to this movement out to the side. Relax your shoulder tops. I see a couple of shoulder tops up like this. Just lower it down. Breathe in, breathe out. We're in no rush to get anywhere, right? We're just taking our time with this. If you can get to like 8 o'clock, go ahead and give that a shot, right? If 9 is like super easy, go to 8 o'clock. If 8 o'clock is really easy, go closer to 7 o'clock, right? Maybe 7:30, right? So we're just going back and forth a little bit here. Just back and forth. Great. And then go a little bit farther. So make it a bit more of a challenge, right? Relax your neck and your shoulders. Go back as far as you can. Maybe you can get to, what's after 7? 6. Or what's before 7, rather. Yeah. So we're going closer to 6, right? Great. The next time you're out there, I'm going to have you hold and breathe, right? So we're at a place that's a little bit of a challenge, maybe more than a little bit. Okay, so lengthen that left arm a little bit more. Ooh, relax your shoulder tops a little bit more. Right arm stays at 12. And now let's see if we can get to 6 with that left arm. And the way to do that is to turn the body. So let's turn the body. Maybe we get to 6, maybe we get even beyond that. Maybe we get a little earlier to like 5:30, right? If you can get to 5:30, I want to see that. That'd be great. Hold and breathe. And then come all the way back. Ooh, rest your arms all the way down on your lap. Take a break. Breathe in, breathe out. So there should be all kinds of sensation going on here in the upper body at this point. Okay, I think we got one more in us, right? Yep, we do. Whether we do or not, we're doing it. So arms at 12, right? And again, you make this however challenging you want, right? So if 6 o'clock is just not happening for you, go to where you can. I just want you to get to a place where it's a little uncomfortable, because that's where change happens, is on the edge of discomfort. So where we are here, drop the shoulders down. You're just going to bring that left arm out to, I don't know, 7 o'clock if you can, 8 o'clock, 7:30, somewhere in there. Get as far back as you can with that arm. And then when you've gone as far back as you can with the arm, keep this right hand at 12, and you're going to turn your body and see if you can get that arm back a little bit more. If you can get to 6 o'clock, boy, that's where we're going, right? That would be great. Breathe in, breathe out. Don't hold your breath. I know it's hard to breathe when you're in this position, but give it a try. Good, and then release and come all the way back to 12 o'clock and then drop down. Great job, you guys. Let's roll those shoulders a couple of times. Take a breath, let it out with a sigh. Great. How about a little massage for the arms and shoulders? One side and then the other. So just kind of find the spot that's a little juicy for you. Right, for me, it's always up here. It's always these big golf balls on the top of my shoulders. And then go the other side. Oh, whatever feels good. You can give it a squeeze. You can do a little circle. You could even give it a little bit of a tap, right? So that always feels kind of nice too, is a little bit of a tap. All right. So let's relax everything. How are your shoulders and neck feeling right now? Sore. Okay. Different than when you first came in? Okay, good. All right. Well, let's give everything up here in the neck and shoulders a little bit of a break. I often like to do a class that's, that we hit everything a little bit, but sometimes it's good to do like a really focused session, and so I thought shoulders and neck would be good today. So, of course, it wouldn't be one of my classes if we didn't do something with feet, so here we are. We're going to do something with feet. So look down at your feet. How are they doing this morning? Good. They're a little chilly? Yeah. So just a note, because I see lots of you bring your towels in, which is great. As the weather gets colder, that might be a really good thing for those of you who don't have a towel. Just leave it in the car or something and bring it in for class. So looking down at your feet, and I know you probably have socks on, and that's okay. Do the best you can in your socks. We're just going to lift and lower the toes. Just lift and lower all the toes. So you're keeping the tripods down. That's the heel, the big toe knuckle, and the little toe knuckle. And we're lifting and lowering. And just notice how that's going, right? So is it okay, similar on the right side and left side, a little different on one side or the other? Okay. And then let's lower all the toes down. So we've got the tripods on the floor, the toes are on the floor, and we're just going to lift and lower the bigs. Just the big toes. Now, if all the little toes are lifting too, and you can't keep them down, bring your hands down and press into those little toes so that they don't lift up. So you don't want the little toes lifting. It's just the big toes that are lifting. And this might be a brain thing too, right? So your brain is going, Now, it also can be your socks. So if you don't have toe socks on that allow that independent movement, if you've got socks that are a little tight, when you lift your big toes, it might be just pulling those other toes up with them. Okay, and then lower your big toes and see if you can lift and lower just your little toes. That can be easier for some people and harder for others. So we're lifting and lowering, or lowering and lifting, whichever. And you're breathing. Good. And then relax that. Okay. So lift up all your toes now. So you're keeping your tripods down. Again, heel, big toe knuckle, little toe knuckle. Keep the tripods down. Everything's lifted. And you're just lowering and lifting your bigs. Just the big toes. If you're having difficulty keeping your little toes lifted, the assist is to reach down and hold all those little toes up with your fingers so that you can continue to lower and lift the big toes. Great. Lots of concentration. It's so quiet in here. And then you can lift all your toes, hold them all up, and we're going to lower and lift just the littles. Right? So just the littles. It's this independence in the movement of the toes that's really important here for balance and mobility. Good. And then lower everybody down. So some of us notice that it's easier to go from the lowered position to the lifting position. Some of us notice that it's easier to go from the lifted position to the lowering position. And there's a challenge, right? Sometimes it's easier to move the little toes independent of the big toe, or the big toe independent of the little toes. So in order to make everybody unhappy, we're going to do something. We're going to do something that challenges everything. So keep all your toes down. So we've got the tripods down, the toes are all down. We're going to lift the right big toe and the left little toes. And then we're going to lower everything down and lift the right little toes and the left big toe. And lower everything down. Now, little tip, because we're going to do this from side to side. If it helps to use your hands as a little instructional aid, have your hands on your lap, and as you lift your right big toe, lift your right thumb, lift your left fingers and your left little toes. So your hands can be sort of instructing your feet in that way. And then as lower down, lift your right fingers and right little toes, lift your left thumb and your left big toe. Right? And switch. Now if the hand coordination there is making your brain smoke, don't do it. So it's just an aid if it helps you. If it makes it more confusing, just forget I mentioned it. Just do what works. So what we're doing is we're going from side to side. So on one foot you have the big toe lifted, and on the other foot you have the little toes lifted, right? And see if you can speed that up. That's where it gets really tricky, right? It's when you're speeding it up. Okay, relax all of that. How'd that go? Not well? Okay. It's honest. That's good. Yeah. Well, maybe it'll go better if we do it this way. So lift up all your toes. Okay? So you get the knuckles down, right? Or the tripods down. Big toe knuckle, little toe knuckle, heel. So all the tripod is down. So now you're going to lower your right big toe and your left littles. Lower your right big toe and your left littles. And then switch. So you're lowering your right littles and your left big. So it's just the opposite of what we were doing. The focus is on the lowering, not on the lifting. Got that? I know, to your brain it's like no difference.
It's easier if you say it.
It's easier if I say it. Okay, so everything's lifted, right? You're lowering your right big and your left littles. And then lift, lower your right littles and your left big. And lift, right big, left littles. Lift, right littles, left big. And go. Right? And breathe. Super easy. And relax. Take a breath, because I know you're holding your breath. Wow. So the toe independence thing, it's, for a lot of us, it's, the challenge isn't so much in the movement of the foot, it's the neurological connection to the brain. I had somebody in the class before, she said, I do all these toe exercises where I like pick things up and, to get her toes moving. And she said, I can't do this independent thing. What exercises should I be doing? And I said, it's not a problem with your foot. If you can pick something up and move it from side to side, the muscles in your foot are working fine. Your brain and your foot are just not, they're not speaking the same language yet. So the best thing to do is just to keep practicing. Okay, so with your tripods down, lift everybody up. Spread them out nice and wide. And let's do a little bit of toe piano. So you're pressing the baby toe, and then the next one, all the way to the big, all the way down. And then lift everybody up. Spread the toes out nice and wide. And we're going little toes all the way down to the big. So it's like you're playing the piano with your toes, right? So you're lifting and then lowering. Now, if you want to make this more challenging for yourself, for your foot, which I really suggest as you get better at this, you can do that. When you lift up, spread the toes out as wide as you can. Anchor that little toe down, and then try and pull the other toes away from the little toe. So you're not just laying them down on the ground, you're trying to get them farther away from one another. You're actually creating some more space in there. And the more you do this, the less frustrated you'll get. Yes, exactly. They are exactly like your fingers. They don't yet. That's the word, right? They don't yet. It's part of it's your brain. Part of it is your foot has been in a shoe for however many years, so it's just about reconditioning. Yeah. All right. Then lift everybody up. All right? So we've got the knuckles down. Keep the knuckles down, keep the heels down. All right. So we're going to make this super fun now. So it was just regular fun before, and now it's super fun. So spread all your toes out. Press your big toes down and your baby toes down, but none of your middle toes. And then relax that because you're probably starting to feel a cramp in your foot, right? Let's try that again. Lift all your toes up, spread them out really wide. Press the bigs down and the babies down, but none of the middles. If you need to assist, you can reach down and just hold up all those middle toes. Good job. Relax that. Let's try it just one more time if we can, right? So lift everybody up. Spread them out nice and wide. Bigs go down to the floor. Babies go down to the floor. Middles stay lifted. You're breathing in and breathing out. You are creating a stronger arch as you're doing this, you guys. Stronger arch. And then relax all of that. So that one is the most challenging of all of the movements for the foot, but it's also a critical one because your foot, the function of your foot when you're walking is that as you take a step, the foot arch has to collapse in order to absorb the energy of your weight, the force of impact, so that when you push off, it's got that energy to give. So what has to happen is your foot has to do this, which is a splay, and then it needs to contract a little bit. You've got a ligament that runs here, muscle that runs here. You've got one that runs here, and then you've got one that runs across the foot. It's this transverse part of the arch when we're lowering the big toe and the baby toe but keeping all the middles up. That's the transverse part that we're working on, and that's the hardest one to kind of get. So keep working on it. That's all I can say is keep working on it. Okay, close your eyes. Take a breath. Thank goodness we're done with this for today, right? Wow. Grateful for being done. So just kind of noticing as you're breathing in and breathing out, you'll notice how all this work we just did on the feet made you completely forget about your neck, your shoulders, right? Now you can refocus and say, oh yeah, there you are, shoulders and neck. What's going on there now, right? Does things feel different? Do they feel better? Maybe they feel more sore. Sometimes things will feel more sore as we wake them up. And if there are other parts of your body, not just your neck or your shoulders or your feet, but if there are other body parts that are asking for a little bit of attention, just turn your awareness to that body part. And as you turn your awareness there, just notice there's always a judgment, right? So when a part of our body is calling for attention, the brain labels it as pain or discomfort. So notice that it's just your brain label. If it's, say, your knee, and your knee is calling for attention, just turn your attention to your knee and just pay attention to your knee. As you inhale and exhale, what's happening to that body part as you just breathe and notice it? And notice it without judgment. Notice it without label. Right? It's just, okay, I'm noticing you. You've been calling my attention. I'm noticing you now. I see you. I hear you. And if there's another body part that's calling for attention, turn your awareness there. And again, just really focus on it. Try not to be distracted by anything. Just notice, okay, my left ankle, I'm noticing you. I'm seeing you. And breathe into it. Just take some nice, long, slow, deep breaths. When we're distracted and the body needs attention, the only way it can really get your attention is to create the sensation or the illusion of pain. So just taking a moment in your day to close your eyes, taking some breaths, identifying those places in your body that are like a little undernourished in the attention way, and just giving them some attention, just giving them a little bit of love. I see you, I hear you. This moment is all about you right now, nothing else. That can just change your relationship to it. Let's take a nice deep breath in together and we'll let it out with a sigh. And then you can let your eyes open. And thank you everybody for being here today. Thank you, thank you. It's great to be back. I wish it were warmer, but it is what it is. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you all next time.